In other news, finally, on its third try, the city of Tshwane, your capital, has a mayor. You would have seen last night the DA Cilliers Brink elected to the position, 109 votes to 102 for the candidate from Cope. Does come after so much instability there. Dr Corne Mulder is the spokesperson for the multi-party coalition. Dr Mulder, good afternoon to you. Do you believe there will now be stability in the council, that Brink and your coalition will be able to have a proper, cohesive, sustainable administration?
Yes, I absolutely believe that that is the case. I think we are now through the woods and that we are at the beginning of a new dawn in terms of how things can work in the city of Tshwane. The multi-party coalition has been ready to take these decisions a long time ago, and we all know what happened in terms of being frustrated in the last couple of weeks to get the new mayor elected. But the new mayor was now elected with a clear majority, and the coalition are united more than ever, and we are ready to move forward.
This all happened, everything that's happened in the last 6 weeks in Tshwane came about because the DA's mayor at the time, Randall Williams, resigned. And he resigned suddenly. So didn't the biggest partner, the DA, in your coalition, cause all of this in the first place?
Well, you're absolutely correct. That is exactly what basically happened, was that there was a discussion within the structures of the multi-party coalition, in the coalition oversight group, and we looked into the whole question of the Auditor General's report, which we were very concerned about. And part of that was that we were very strong on the view that there should be consequences and also political consequences, and that process was still going on. The DA at the time said they will handle that internally and we must give them the chance to do so. Unfortunately, they did not at the time come back to us, and then the mayor at that stage resigned. That caused the whole situation because suddenly we were confronted with a resignation that we did not expect at that stage. And because of that, it created a problem. So we understand that. But despite that, we have moved through the processes, and I believe that we are now back to stability.
So back to stability, that's great, good. What needs to happen now, of course, is that the services for the people of Tshwane need to improve. And there is a major problem. Cilliers Brink, the new mayor, has alluded to this as well. He spoke about this in his speech last night. There's a major problem with the finances. Tshwane can't even afford to pay Eskom, and that's the money it receives for electricity. Do you believe the coalition is going to be able to get on top of this?
We have to. It's going to be a huge challenge. I think that we are united in our view at this stage that the absolute paramount issue now is service delivery. That should come first. The residents and their interests should be paramount, and it is. The problem is that we need to get all the processes going. The first step would be to get the adjustment budget passed. We need to do that before the 14th of April. We will do so. And then immediately thereafter start to work on the new budget for the next financial year and to prioritize the right things there. And you're correct, there are huge financial challenges. But we believe that it will take a while, but we will get through that and get the finances of the city sorted out. And obviously, as a coalition government, we don't want to do this on our own. We need the cooperation and assistance of all the communities and all the residents in Tshwane, but also of other political parties. This is our opportunity to make a difference and turn Tshwane around once and for all. We are committed to do so.
You talk about working with other political parties. I don't know if you include what in Tshwane will now be the opposition parties, the EFF, the ANC, the ATM, COPE and others there, but we know that your coalition wanted to remove the speaker from the ATM. Is that still on the cards? I mean, if that is your first act after winning this mayoral election, it's not really working with opposition parties.
I do include the other parties for various reasons. I've never seen a more dysfunctional kind of functioning that we see in these metros. I don't understand how these things work. If you set a meeting down to start at 10 o'clock, then you start at 10 o'clock. You don't hang around and wait until somebody arrives half an hour later. And then when the meeting at last starts, you call for a caucus break for an hour. Then you go for 5 minutes and another caucus break for 2 hours. We are wasting the money of the taxpayers. That needs to stop. So what I need in terms of cooperation is let's sit down and get the job done. Now, with regard to the Speaker's position, it is a difficult one. It is a controversial one. We all know that election took place under different circumstances. And then you all know that we then came with a motion of no confidence. The Speaker decided to ignore that. And then what happened earlier this week on Monday when he just simply adjourned the meeting. So that is still going on. We are currently taking legal advice in terms of how to move forward in that process. We have some meetings later tonight as well. But our priority is service delivery and the interests of the residents of Tshwane. We will not act irrational or irresponsibly.
You've said, and others have said, that what happened in Tshwane, when people who belong, when councillors who represent particular parties, I think it was probably Action SA that suffered this more than others, voted against their mandate through secret ballot, should not have happened, and that there should be investigations, etc. But you've suggested that the idea of voting through a secret ballot, in other words, a councillor voting in a secret ballot to represent their party and the people who voted for them, should no longer happen, that those ballots should now be in public. The law would have to be changed. Do you believe that that is going to happen? I think the DA is with you on this now. I'm not sure where the ANC is, though. Do you believe that this is going to happen? This will have to go to Parliament. It's the Municipal Systems Act.
Exactly. I think we are all learning as we go through these processes, and suddenly these things become very relevant now that we've got the coalitions and motions coming this way and that way. But I think if one objectively look, I can understand that your electorate out there should have the right to vote in privacy, and that's the way it should be. But the question remains, why would a public representative representing the people out there with a mandate want to vote in secret? And that's the same not only on provincial or local level, that's on parliamentary national level as well. The ANC quite often doesn't want to have a secret ballot when it comes to motions of no confidence in the president or whatever the case may be. So I think the time has come to remove secret ballots for public representatives. The public should be aware of where they vote and keep them account.
Dr Corne Mulder, thank you very much indeed. Do appreciate the spokesperson for what is now the governing coalition in Tshwane.